What is up, Internet? I am the Button Jammer, and today I am bringing you Star Wars Battlefront, and today I'm going to waste absolutely no time getting into this. So, unfortunately, I'm going to only have time for two games. I'm going to play one game of Walker Assault and another game of Fighter Squadron. So, actually, wait, oh, crap. Oh. Kind of wanted to do Solus, but, you know what? We'll pick the map for Fighter Squadron. So, uh, today, actually, I've been kind of wanting to ask a question, because I've been actually getting asked this question a lot lately, and because I was one of the few people, not one of the few people, a lot of people pre-ordered this game, but, since I pre-ordered this game, I've been getting asked a lot by my brothers and friends at school. I've been getting asked a lot. Does this game hold up to Battlefronts 1 and 2? Now I'm going to say this, I definitely think this game is better than Battlefront 2. And I just say that because I played both of those games a lot here. Let me look blaster. I'm not going to use the yellow. Oh wait, no. Let's just get in the game. Here, let me use the EE3. So I've been getting asked a lot, does this game hold up to the original? So I'm going to guess, no, again, I'm going to say that yes, it does hold up to the originals. I definitely think this game is better than Battlefront 2. Now, I played both of those games a lot, and I'm just gonna flat out say it. Honestly, at this point, I really don't care for Battlefront 2 anymore. Like, I can play it, and I can beat pretty much any map in about 2 minutes to 5 minutes, and it gets really boring really fast. Now, Battlefront 1, on the other hand, I think that's a bit of a different story. But unlike Battlefront, unlike Battlefront 2, oh god, oh boy. Yeah, for some reason my regular audio isn't working, so it's kind of a blessing because I can't hear myself talk over me, but the problem is I can't hear any blaster fire. So I have to, oh boy, so I'm only relying on my visual senses right now, so that's going to be kind of annoying. So, does this game hold up to the original Battlefront? So again, yeah, it beats 2. Now, I can definitely say you could definitely argue if this game is better or not for Battlefront 1 or 2. Just Battlefront 1. Oh gosh, I'm getting my words mixed up today. I hope I don't repeat myself too much during this whole thing. Ah, damn it. Oh boy. So, now, now, on Battlefront 2, I can barely say that all of its maps, I can break down every map in those games, with the exception of maybe 2. I can break every one of those maps down to a formula, and honestly, I really don't like the fact that I can do that. So, in a sense, yeah, oh boy, sorry, I'm trying to focus on my gameplay and my commentary all at the same time. Well, at the same time, oh my gosh. You know, that is a bit of a problem with this game. The spawning is kind of bad. Maybe I should get my loadout. Right, so in Battlefront 2, you can break down a lot of those maps to a formula. Like, I literally have a cheat sheet for what maps I can do, what I should do in what map, and when I should do it. I mean, it's nonsensical how formulated that game came down to. With 1, that's not so much of a case. While there are a couple maps that break down to a formula, for the most part, it's always challenging and it's always fun. For the most part. There is almost never a formula for this. And that's what I love. Like, nothing is formulated. It's never broken down to that formula that you can break down to most maps for other Battlefront games. So that alone already gives this Battlefront an edge. Oh my god. That Scout Trooper almost looks like a rebel. I'm sorry, but he almost looks like a rebel. Oh gosh, I'm dealing with bad connection here. Hopefully this lasts long enough to the point where it's not gonna crash on me. Oh boy. Oh boy, this lag doesn't last too much longer. So, I'd say the new Battlefront definitely holds up in that regard, to the point where it does not have to deal with the problem of formulated maps. Whereas the second Battlefront definitely he suffers from that. The first one not so much, but a few maps do suffer from that. So in that regard, I have to give the edge to the new Battlefront. Now for single player, ability, that one I definitely have to give to the first Battlefront. Like I said, the second one, I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the second one anymore, just because it's so formulated at this point, and it's so uninteresting at this point, that I can't say I have fun with it anymore. Like, I can turn it up to the hardest difficulty, and I can still beat a map in 2 minutes, and that's just not fun for me anymore. Like, I can't have fun with the game, because I can just beat it so quickly. But if we're going to talk single player compatibility, I definitely say the first one. I mean, for that one, like I said, the maps aren't as formulated, and so you can always have the kind of fun that you can have in the new Battlefront, but in so you can have all the fun that you can in the new Battlefront, but you can do it solo, which is great. I mean, I love being able to do like this sort of stuff right here, but only on a single player screen. Now, oh boy, my guy's fit. My guy looks like these. That's what I'm gonna call him. My partner's Finn. So, and this game, while this game's single player compatibility isn't bad, again, it can kind of run down to a formula to the point where, oh, if a walker comes, I just need to do this. If stormtrooper comes, it's just stormtroopers, I can just do this. So, this game's single player compatibility does kind of run down to a formula. Although I still wouldn't say it's as bad as Battlefront 2's, where everything I can literally just run down to a formula. Okay, God, I love the thermal imploder in this game. It's just so much fun. Now, so for single player compatibility, I definitely have to give the edge to the first Battlefront. I don't think it's, but I feel like this game could beat it in terms of single player compatibility. I just don't think they really have that figured out yet. Oh, no, we did not kill this guy. However, in terms of multiplayer gameplay, yeah, the new Battlefront, it far exceeds the other two. It far exceeds the first one. In the first one, that was kind of when Xbox Live had just been starting, so it wasn't. It was just kind of this new thing, and we really didn't know what to think about it. With this, oh great, wrong. I wanted to throw. Okay, let's see if can I get one from Beyond the Grave. Oh, bodyguard for Darth Sidious. Ooh yeah. I love these shock troopers. I wish you could like see that's one of the downfalls of this game is I kind of wish there was a little bit more customization with the with the stormtroopers. Like I wish I could have like a red stripe like this down to my own stormtroopers, but I can't. And that really bums me out. Like I just wish I could add like some form of customization. Like that was one of the things I was really looking forward to. I was kind of open to like just do a little bit of customization, just something to make my stormtrooper feel a bit more personal. That meleeed him. Oh, I'm only down to like a little bit of health. Do I regen health? I do not regenerate health. I don't think. Yeah, that's kind of a bit of a downside to being the bodyguard of the hero. Gotta admit, that's not really all that fun. Oh, huh. Nope. I got killed by Dark Vapor. But with this game, I mean, alright, so where was I? Oh yeah, multiplayer compatibility. So yeah, with the first one, that was just kind of when Xbox Live started, so we really didn't know what to think about online gameplay, at least for Xbox. I mean, online gameplay, it had been around for I don't. I was about to say centuries, but it's only. You know, screw it. I'm gonna say it had been around for centuries, but before then. But really, at that point, it was just kind of new to Xbox. So just Xbox players, it was kind of a new experience. I don't remember a whole lot of people playing Battlefront on online, especially on the earliest days of online gameplay crap of online gameplay. But by now, online gameplay is just it's basically cemented in our system. Like we expect games to have some form of online compatibility, and I'd say this game just rocks at it. I so I feel like it's a bit unfair to. So now I'm gonna kind of say this. Like, does sorry, I'm trying to focus on the game yet talk at the same time. So I'm gonna ask, does this game's multiplayer combat, is it better than is this game's multiplayer better than Battlefront 1's single player? And that's going to be a tough question. Really, I'm going to say it really comes down to whether if you like playing in single player or if you like playing in multiplayer. Now, if you like playing in multiplayer, then I'm going to say this game is the better one. But if you like playing in multiplayer over single player, then I'm going to say this game is better than the first one. But again, that is all up to you. That is, oh boy, come on, gonna kill. Got killed by Luke Skywalker there. So that's really what this whole thing comes down to, is whether if you like single player or multiplayer better than the other. Now, oh boy, that kind of leads me into the other argument. I always hear about people like hating EA because it makes crappy games. That's kind of untrue. I mean, EA's game politics is bad, but for the most part, I'm gonna be the first to say this. For the most part, EA's games are usually pretty solid. And I know that's kind of hard to comprehend, but yeah, it's kind of true. I I can't name too many EA games that I would legitimately say are bad that I've played. It's just that EA's politics are bullshit. I mean, yes, I do think $15 is ridiculous for DLC. But to be fair, it's not entirely EA's fault. Part of that fault is schmucks who are buying said overpriced DLC. Like, literally, I was talking with my buddy Aaron a few days ago, and I was telling, like, he was, again, bitching about the overpriced DLC that EA that EA makes. And I asked him, like, okay, well, if you're having such a problem with the DLC, why don't you just not buy it? And he responds with, well, then I feel like I'm not getting the full experience. So I'm like, that makes no sense. If you don't want to buy overpriced DLC, then just don't buy the. So then that kind of got me thinking, and I'm, I'm, hold on. Like, as much as we hate the DLC, we want to get the DLC, and I do plan on getting the DLC, even if it's overpriced. Even though I hate paying that much. So, today, effectively, I'm all joking aside, but if this somehow starts getting a movement, I've been hearing a lot about the whole boycotting of this, and most of that hatred is stemmed towards the DLC, from what I've seen at least. So, what I say is like, well, why are you boycotting the game? Wouldn't you want to boycott the DLC? Like, wouldn't that be sending a stronger message? Like, shouldn't we boycott the DLC? Send a message to EA. Look, we want your DLC, but we are not gonna buy it if you're gonna put it at such ridiculous expenses. So, today, effectively, I'm starting a boycott on EA's DLC. Effective immediately. We are gonna boycott EA's DLC. Send a message to them like, you want us to buy your DLC, lower the price. We are not gonna buy your ridiculous overpriced DLC, no matter how much fun it is. You want us to buy this DLC, lower the price. Now, you can pass this off as this will never catch up. You can pass this off as just the rantings of a Star Wars fan. You can pass this off as the ranting of just a regular video game fan. But at least see what I'm talking about. Oh boy, it's really hard playing this game without audio. And if you guys are gonna complain about the DLC, either A, don't buy it. Well, actually, A, yeah, don't buy it. If you're gonna complain about the DLC price, just don't buy it, guys. Send that message that we are not gonna buy the DLC. Play 30 matches of Walker. So, oh, sweet, 4 kill. You know, surprisingly, that's actually not as bad as I usually do. I feel like I would probably be doing this. Wait, did we lose or did we win? Oh, I think we lost. Because, yeah, I saw 2 walkers. So, if you guys really want to... A few people who are boycotting the game right now, and I do know there is a boycott on this game. Guys, don't boycott this game. If you want this game, then play it. I know that many of you Star Wars fans, you want to play this game, so get the game. But if you're gonna complain about overpriced DLC, then don't get the DLC. Yes, I know you might not feel like you're not getting the full experience, but when you succumb to that, you are succumbing to exactly what EA wants. They want us to succumb to their overpriced DLC. Thus, they're gonna keep some. Thus, they're gonna keep making us buy overpriced DLC because we keep buying the overpriced DLC. Oh boy. Alright. Alright, and now we're gonna start with Fighter Squadron. Alright, you know what? This is what really kind of definitely made the game better than the others, in my opinion. Is that the fighter... Oh, yes, we're playing on my favorite map. Is that I always felt like Fighter Squadron is, it really reminds me of Rogue Squadron in a way. Like, I feel like this is a more enhanced version of Rogue Squadron. Like, does anybody remember that game? I feel like we should remember that game. Because, yeah, let me see. There was one that came out. I mean, I know there's been a ton of Starfighter games, like X-Wing and TIE Fighter. Yes, I'm Rebels. Usually I don't care about, like, what team I'm on, but honestly, I like being Rebels in this more, just because they have this shield and it's so useful. But yeah, this gameplay type, it just reminds me so much of... It just reminds me so much of, like, an improved version of... hold on. Of the Rogue Squadron games. And yeah, it's like, oh god. This is definitely one area I definitely would say is by far better than the originals. Is fighter combat was really not all that fun, especially the space combat. Like, everyone would get in a bomber and then just bomb the shit out of frigates and ship ship components. This one, it really focuses on where the gameplay should lie. It should lie in the fighter combat. And yeah, while you could... Oh boy. Still suffering from bad connection here. And while you did get points for shooting down enemy fighters, you didn't get nearly as many points as you did from bombing the crap out of a frigate or destroying the enemy's systems. So fighter combat in Battlefront 2 especially really wasn't all that enjoyable, and honestly I'm still gonna say it still wasn't very enjoyable in still wasn't all that enjoyable in the first one either. I just kind of really just only wanted to be a ground trooper in that game. However, in this game, it feels like they really improved the. It feels like they really did improve the fighter combat to such a point. I almost feel like they can make a whole game just on the just on the fighter combat. That's how much I love the fighter combat in this game. Oh, boy. you know, I, that's what I want. Yeah, that's what I want. I want DICE to now make the next Rogue Squadron game just based on this gameplay, because I could totally see myself just having so much fun in a game just made by just based around this system. Like I remember having so much fun in Rogue Squadron. I love those games. Rogue Squadron for the N64, for the GameCube. Hell, even Rebel Strike, although not to much of an extent. But yeah, Rebel Strike was also a really good Rogue Squadron game. Well, when you could fly in a fighter. Honestly, I didn't really care for the ground missions in that game, although that was supposed to be the big thing. Really, you only wanted to play the fighter missions in that game. So I definitely say the Rogue Squadron for GameCube was probably the best one. However, when you got to be in an AT-AT in Rebel Strike, that was pretty fun. Oh boy. I definitely want to. Yeah, I got the last kill. Booyah! Jedi Lord 68 for win. Wow, I did not get nearly as many kills as I did. So, in to recap, guys, is this game better in does this game hold up to the original? Yes, it does. Is this game better is this game better than the first one? Again, that depends whether or not if you like multiplayer combat or single player combat. If you like single player, I'd say the original is better. If you like multiplayer better, I'd say this game is better. If you like being a fighter squadron, this game is better. And if you're complaining about overpriced DLC, don't not buy the game. Don't buy the DLC, guys. Oh well. But in all intents and purposes, I gotta end the video here, guys. You get to see my awesome stormtrooper. So, I am the Button Jammer, and you all have a fantastic day, guys.